What's poppin', Solow Sportsers? I'm here right above our Flushing, Queens location, located on the beautiful grounds of the US Open, to film a review of the latest racket to join the Solinco lineup, the Solinco Whiteout 290 V2. Stick around, see how I played, and if I am going to pick this up as my next racket. The Solinco Whiteout 290 V2 is, as the name suggests, 290 grams, which equates to 10.2 ounces unstrung, with a swing weight of 315, making it 3 points head light with a balance point of 13.2 inches. It has a 98 square inch head size, a standard length of 27 inches, an open 16 by 19 string pattern, and a constant beam of 21.7 millimeters. The stock grip is the Solinco Synthetic, and now features a hand-applied new tiger camo paint job, inspired by some of their favorite gaming skins. Who knows, maybe the tiger herself, Irina Sabalenka, after seeing this cosmetic, may make the switch herself. While this is normally the part where I would tell you what string and tension we put in this racket, while I can tell you that I strung it at my go-to at least, tension of 44 pounds, this is a yet-to-be-released string by Solinco, so I can't quite tell you the name yet, but maybe you've tried it before. If you have, let us know what you've thought about it in the comments. But we are lucky enough to have such a great relationship with Solinco. We get to play test their stuff rather early, before it comes out, before it even reaches some of the early play testers and pros. So we're very lucky that we get to do it. And we always love how their products play all together. So putting their rackets with their strings, with their grips, with their bags, and all that sort of stuff. So I did it at my go-to tension of 44 pounds so that I could really understand what's new about this version of the racket. Something to always bear in mind when listening to playtesters talk about their rackets is what they normally play with compared to the racket they're actually playtesting that day. So for me, this is basically an identical spec to what I currently use. So this is very natural out of the box. From the baseline, I felt very comfortable. It all felt very natural. That said, when I started off the day, maybe I started off a little slow and my partner was really hitting it deep and heavy. I felt like the racket was not quite stable enough to hold up when he was really in the zone and going for it. However, when he started to slow down a little bit, his ball started to slow down as well. Then I was really able to get on the front foot. This racket was an absolute dream, super maneuverable, plowed through the point of contact just enough for me. Could it have a little more plow through? Yes, but that's, I think, easily solved if you wanted a little more by throwing some lead tape on there at 3 and 9. But I didn't feel like I needed it. So from the baseline, this was an absolute dream. Funny enough, I even enjoyed my topspin backhand more than my forehand or even my slice backhand, which is a very odd sensation for me. But I felt great coming over my backhand with this racket for sure. The Solinco Whiteout rackets feature all the great technology that they've had in previous generations, like their 40T carbon fiber, which are high modulus carbon fibers strategically placed at 3 and 9 o'clock to enhance the stability and power, especially within the sweet spot. Their liquid crystal technology, which is incorporated throughout the entire frame that optimizes flex and reduces vibration. And new for 2025, they've added their Arc 2 construction, which enhances the racket's stability, power, and responsiveness. Compared to the V1, on paper, this racket, the V2, is more or less the same. It's the same weight, it's the same head size, it's the same string pattern, more or less same balance, almost the same stiffness. So if you're a fan of the V1 and it's starting to break down a little bit, I think getting this racket is just an easy yes. Add to cart, get it strung, get it now. The one difference I might say with the Arc 2 tech is that's maybe a little softer, maybe a little more responsive. But this is definitely a great racket that I love to keep in my bag as a play tester of strings and rackets, because it allows me to put any sort of string and tension set up in the racket, and I can really learn about those strings. It's also very close to my spec, so of course I like it. And then, of course, the cosmetic is an absolute home run. You can obviously put any color strings, any color grips, and it still looks great, which can obviously be a concern when you're playing with maybe a bright red racket or a green racket, and you might worry about clashing in that sense. But yeah, absolutely great racket to have in the bag. And if you're a fan of the previous, I think you'll love this one. Up at net, I thoroughly enjoyed this racket. I always love combinations of maneuverability and stability. Now, generally speaking, as you beef up the weight on a racket, you'll get more stability, but lose maneuverability. And as you take away some of that weight, you'll get that easy to maneuver sort of feeling, but you also won't get the stability and plow through that you might be seeking. So for me, I tend to prefer the maneuverability. I will personally be more stable. So for me, the Whiteout 290 was a great combination of these things because there's enough weight and a small enough head size that I felt like it was stable enough for me to do the rest of the legwork. And the maneuverability made it so that whether someone was ripping it super hard at me, I didn't have any issues toggling from my forehand to my backhand. I could do my touch and feel shots because the racket wouldn't just send the ball flying. And if I had more time, I was more than capable of stepping in, punching it deep, and really putting my opponents on the defense. Rackets like this are definitely my favorite, so it definitely biases my expectations and results. However, I think a lot of net players and a lot more modern players are tending towards some lighter rackets because we have faster strokes and the ball's getting on us quicker as well. On serve is where I struggled a little bit with this racket. I think this is true of most rackets that are sub 300 grams. They don't quite have the plow through, and especially when you're generating all the pace on your own, you don't have your opponents do half the work for you. This racket can get you in a little bit of trouble. So I felt like I was relying mostly on my kick serves, especially in the ad court, and my sliders out wide in the deuce court, because those are more maneuvering shots. Where I don't have to inject so much pace into the ball on my own. So when I was trying to go for a big flat serve, I felt like I was struggling a little bit. But overall, super fun. Once I was on top of the point, super easy to finish off the point. Able to whip it from low to high, able to come over the top, all the things I ever need when I'm trying to finish out a point. But starting out a point, or maybe getting a low pace, funky junk ball, felt like I had to do more work and didn't quite get the response I wanted from the racket. But overall, a great play test, and I would obviously take this on the court for any sort of point player, match play.
This racket scored well in our Solow Sports graded review. Though this is a control-based frame, its maneuverability allows you to generate enough racket head speed to get the necessary momentum to create pace. While the prototypical player we'd expect to pick up this racket is probably a kid, aged 12 to 15, with good strokes, this racket could work for an adult with an NTRP rating of 3.0 or higher, plays a more finesse game, and enjoys all parts of the court. While one-handers may be on their way out of the game, this racket is great for those players who still do have one, but two-handers can use it as well. Similar rackets from other brands include the Wilson ProStaff 97L, the Yonex Percept 97L, the Dunlop CX 200LS, and the Technofiber TF40 290. This is a must-try for young up-and-coming junior players, and maybe you as well.
We hope you've enjoyed our review of the Solinco Whiteout 290 V2. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you're always updated of when new rackets are launching. There's so many coming out this month and next and the next and the next. And to stay up to date, you really got to make sure you're subscribed. And as always, we look forward to seeing you in the next video.